Hi there, yep, that's right, it's me again, the great and glorious, soon to be famous one day if I'm very lucky, NickDutch here, coming back at you with more talk about tarot. And yes, we're going to move one card along. We're going to have a look now at the Empress. Okay, we got another strong female character, but we got some subtle differences. What's the first thing that you noticed? Maybe it's the fact that we still got a crescent moon in the picture, still talking about the subconscious mind. But this time, as you notice at the bottom of the card, it's the other way up. Alright, so we're talking about the same kind of forces, the same kind of factors, using inspiration, but in this case it's not being receptive. When the points of the crescent moon are pointing upwards, it's like a cup, it's like a chalice. It's taking something, it's receiving, it's gaining from anywhere. You know, some would say that the mind is like a sewer. The more the more you leave it open, the more people fill it full of you know what. In this case, the subconscious mind is going the other way. So this character who's moved on to the next level of being, as defined by the Empress card, whoops, just trodden on something there, is now using the mind in a completely different way. So, what can we say about that? Instead of absorbing new ideas, instead of absorbing new forms of inspiration and new forms of, wow, isn't this wonderful, isn't this great and glorious, and I'm going to listen to everything that I'm being told. It's a question of thinking carefully, planning ahead, being meticulous, using reasoning applied to creativity to try and get some very good quality understandings as to how the next plan, the next movement, the next direction is going to go. And that's essentially what this card is essentially talking to us about. Now, look at the top again. She's got a halo above her head. Now, there's a number of stars there. 3 of them are behind her neck. So, essentially, that would be 12 stars in all. Yeah, we could just say, oh, that's the 12 signs of the zodiac, that be. And yeah, to a certain degree, it is the 12 signs of the zodiac. But we're talking about an immortal character, an immortal spirit going on for all time. So it's not just a question, okay? It's not just a question of something as simplistic as the signs of the zodiac. I feel this is talking much more about the precession of the equinoxes. Therefore, we're actually dealing with eons, we're dealing with eras, the era of Pisces, the era of Aquarius, and so on and so forth, each of them going on for potentially centuries. Alright, very long periods of time. So there's more deep meaning in this particular card. What's she holding? Remember that the Magician card that we saw first, card number 1, that had a staff. The character was holding a staff. In this case, she's also holding a staff because she is in control. Alright, so it's a female character. She's using her mind in different ways. It's still essentially the same person, but she's being visualized in the card as being female to demonstrate different varieties of attributes than we had with the Magician card. Alright? This is a person who is in control. At the top of the staff, there's that cross shape. Now, the cross shape can mean a number of different things. If you go back to ancient studies of magical symbols, the horizontal line represents the material world because it's basic, it's base, it's boring, it's ordinary, it's everything that is to do with survival, money, commerce, politics, all that stuff. But the vertical line represents intelligence, it represents the spirit, it represents the vibrancy, the extra dimension of being. It's not just a solid physical world, it's your creativity, it's your intellect, it's the way that your mind perceives the world. I mean, the fact that you are a being who can actually have the sense of perception, cognition, memory, emotions, all that is represented in the vertical line, also stayed at the top there. Amazing, alright? She's also a winged being. So what type of beings have wings? Alright, think carefully. You must have done religious education when you were in school. Angels have wings, so this is a divine state of being. So the character has gone through his early initiation stage of, graduating from university or getting the new job. He's started to have some experiences as demonstrated by the cherry-popping message of the second tarot card. Now we're in a much more serene, a much more controlled state of mind. This is someone who has learned from experience and has taken that to a new level. You'll notice there's a white flower, alright? There's a white flower beside this character. What does that white flower mean? Well, think again, when are white flowers used in our culture? They're used as symbols of regret when someone dies. So, just thinking a little more, about why that is being used in this particular way, in this particular tarot card. Alright, it could mean death, it means further change, further transformation, and gaining further wisdom. But this is a character who's showing self-awareness. They've actually got their own corporate logo, which she is holding firmly. Alright, I could go on for ages about the meanings of that particular symbol, but right now I'm not going to. Alright, the white of in the background of her halo, that's supposed to be symbolizing a variety of purity. One could also say a blank sheet, because this is a character who's still got more to learn. She knows it, right? This is a character who's in control, but still knows that there's more to learn. There's a sense of humility here at the vastness of not only the universe, but also of the number of possibilities that are out there in the world, okay? A very powerful sign indeed. Now, we can also think about the number 3. The number 3, when we think about the tree of life, I'm sure you must know about the tree of life, alright? It's a model of the world incorporating 10 spheres, okay, 10 sets of ideas, alright? And the third one is actually talking about the creation of something which is an extra dimension onwards. If you take a point, you join it with a line. Sorry, you join it, draw another point, draw it, you've got a line. You've got something which is essentially one-dimensional. Alright, create another point, join them all up, you've got a triangle. What's a triangle? It's a two-dimensional figure, so we're starting to get more form and more function. So this is a character who's learning much more. This is a character who's got more definition to them and actually has some real presence in the world. Not like someone who's, let's say, a new graduate who's just come out of university and doesn't fully understand life. It's not like someone who's made their first mistakes and has started to grow from them. This is someone whose character is being formed. Alright? So a lot of very interesting and intriguing symbols. Some people call the Empress the Queen of Heaven because it has some kind of connection with the archetype of Mary, the mother of Jesus Christ. It's got some kinds of connections with other deity, female deity concepts. Okay, going back to the staff, all right, the cross is above a sphere. Now, again, when we go back to the study of like magical signs and how they're used in various cultures, circles can mean consciousness. What part of your body is predominantly roughly circular? Your skull. Your skull contains your brain. Your brain is your organ of thought. So if you think about it, the cross on her staff, which symbolizes the material world joined with the spiritual world, is rooting over her mind. So there are rules in place. This is someone who knows that society has rules, that life has rules, that people have rules. Everything is defined by rules. So probably more like the mentality of someone who's the head of an administration department, maybe, all right, or someone who knows that everything has to be done in its right place, in its right time, in its right season. So again, very compelling, very complex symbology in a very simple card. Already you should be able to see that tarot is trying to tell us a story. It doesn't matter whether the original people who drew the first tarot cards were deliberately trying to create a story, but the fact of the matter is this story, which we all look at, we all admire, we all adore, when we become tarot readers and we get involved in the spiritual symbolism, the spirituality that's inherent in tarot, we're all becoming a part of this story. We're starting to see different characters in our daily lives who are a part of the story, which is written in pictorial format in the tarot. The blue of her skirt is supposed to represent the sky, so this is a very divine being indeed.